Hi! Today I'm going to show you how to make a marshmallow penguin decoration just like this one. I'm going to go through all the steps and I'll show you what ingredients I use to make it. The first thing I'm going to do is prepare this marshmallow for dipping. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to take one of these cake pop sticks and I'm going to stick that right into the center of this marshmallow, right into the side and the center of the marshmallow. And you just push that in, and you can kind of twist the stick a little bit as you're pushing it into the marshmallow so that it goes in more easily, and just make sure it doesn't come out on the other side. So, poke that in about 3/4 of the way through. And now this is kind of an important step because the hole that the stick makes, that's where we're going to put the beak or the nose of the penguin. Now that's ready for dipping. To make the dark part of the penguin's body, I'm going to use these candy melts. These are black Wilton candy melts and they have a vanilla flavor. You could also use these dark cocoa candy melts. They are more brown in color. And I'm thinking you could use any color you want, really. You could try blue or purple for the penguins. Any of the darker colors I think would be kind of cool. Another idea is to use this Baker's semi-sweet baking chocolate. Actually, the marshmallows taste really good with this chocolate coating. I just found that the coating didn't look quite as smooth and shiny as with these candy melts. But this works too. I'm going to put these into the microwave for about a minute. I left the candy melts in the microwave for 1 minute, and then I checked them by stirring a little. But the consistency was still sort of thick, so I microwaved them for another 30 seconds. I felt that it was still a little too thick for dipping marshmallows, so I added a couple of teaspoons of cooking oil and then mixed it up thoroughly. This gave me a nice smooth consistency, which is perfect. Now we can dip the marshmallow into the candy melt, and what we want to do is we want the candy melt to cover the marshmallow up to this edge and up to the bottom edge of the marshmallow, and we also want it to cover the marshmallow up along the side until about halfway, maybe a little bit more than that. The white section is going to be the face of the penguin, so we don't want too much of the candy melt to cover the white part. So just dip it straight into the candy melt and then kind of rotate it around until that bottom side is covered, and then do the other side, turn it. Now do that top section up to the edge. You can go over the edge a little bit if you want to. Turn around and then do the bottom up to the edge. Don't leave the marshmallow in there too long because it's still, the candy melt is still warm and it can melt the marshmallow and kind of ruin it. Now spin it around to get rid of the excess, and just be careful so you don't splatter your neighbor. Then tap it along the side of your bowl and just kind of turn it as you're doing it to get rid of the excess. Oh, and another thing I forgot to mention is if you tilt the bowl while you're dipping the marshmallow, it makes the process a little bit easier. Okay, so what I like to do is round out these corners a little bit. That'll make the face of the penguin look a little bit nicer. You don't have to do that, but it's kind of like a finishing touch, I guess. So I'm just going to fill those in a little bit, not too much, just so it's not such a sharp corner. You could use a small brush for this too. I'm just using this toothpick. There, and now you can tap it again to smooth everything out. And then once it's done, just put it into your foam stand and let it dry completely before you continue working on this. You can put the stand into a refrigerator and then it will dry a lot faster. Okay, this just came out of the fridge and I need to remove the marshmallow from the stick. And the way I do that is I push down on the marshmallow like this and pull the stick out and just kind of twist it as you're pulling. There. That looks good. There's a hole here now for where we're going to put the beak later. The beak's going to be a little bit wider than that hole, so I'm going to make that a little bit bigger with a toothpick. And I dipped the toothpick in a little bit of cooking oil so that the marshmallow on the inside won't stick to the toothpick. So now you can just kind of push it to the side just a little bit, you know, not too much, but just make that hole a little bit wider. To make the beak, I'm going to take a piece of yellow Starburst candy, and what I need to do is unwrap it first and then put it into a plastic bag that's airtight and watertight, and then dip this into a bowl of hot tap water. It doesn't have to be boiling water, just hot tap water is fine. Just stick it in there for a couple of minutes until the Starburst candy is soft. And the neat thing about that is you can then mold it into different shapes and you can cut it up into pieces easily and things like that. Okay, I just took the Starburst candy out of the plastic bag and it is nice and soft. So I'm going to cut this into quarters because we just need a small piece for the beak. Like that. And I'm going to roll it in my hands because I need to make sort of an almond shape. So just roll it like this, just a few times, and then kind of maybe make a point, a rounded point like that. Kind of flatten the whole piece and mess around with it until you get a nice beak shape. I'm not going to need this end, so I'm going to cut off a section of it, but leave a piece that you can stick into the marshmallow. I would say about half of that is going to go into the marshmallow. Now I'm going to put some piping gel into this hole that we made earlier, and I'm going to glue the beak onto the penguin's face. This is clear piping gel. I use it like glue, but the cool thing is that it's edible. I'm going to use a toothpick, just take a little bit and put it into the hole. And then take the beak and just push it in there about halfway. There. Now you can kind of see how the penguin's face is emerging. To make the eyes, I'm going to poke a hole on the left and the right side of the beak. Again, you could cover your toothpick with oil. I didn't do it this time, so you can see how the marshmallow is sticking to the side. You can make the hole a little bigger by turning the toothpick like that. Now fill the holes with piping gel again, like you did for the nose. And what I'm going to use for the eyes is these sprinkles. These are Wilton Rainbow Chip Crunch sprinkles. I'm going to pull out a couple of the dark brown ones. Okay, here's my dark brown sprinkles. They have a flat side and sort of a pointy side. I'm going to push the pointy side into the hole. And so the flat side is going to be on top. Oops. And just push them in. There. So all we have to do now is add the feet. To make the feet, you'll need a bowl of water and a knife. I'm going to use a piece of orange Starburst candy that I already warmed up in a bowl of hot water. As you can see, it's pretty soft. The next thing you want to do is make the plate wet so that the candy doesn't stick to it. Flatten it a little bit, and if you need to, you can use a knife to scrape it off the plate. You shouldn't need to though, because the water will make it kind of slick. And now you can cut it into triangles, like that. You can make a little zigzag pattern. Also cut off the front of the penguin's flipper. To make the edges look nice and even, what you can do is smooth them out with your wet fingers. Now all you have to do is line the feet up with the penguin and stick the feet on by pressing on the bottom. If they're still wet, they should still be sticky. To glue them on, you could also use some frosting or some piping gel. When you're finished, turn them upside down to dry, and you're done. Here's our finished penguin, and I think he looks really cute. You can use him for a lot of different things. You could put him on top of a pop stick, use him as a cupcake decoration, or make a whole bunch of penguins and decorate a birthday cake with them. Also, I think making these penguins is a fun, creative process to do with kids. If you need any more information about how I made this penguin, I'm going to give you a link to my blog underneath this YouTube video. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and have fun.